Hey YouTube, join me as I put the Canon RF 2X teleconverter to the test and see if it makes a difference in my shots. Spoiler alert, it does. The Canon RF 2X teleconverter is an interesting piece of kit. It's got a lot of photographers excited for good reason. It gives you the ability to extend your focal length by a factor of 2, which is a tantalizing prospect for anyone looking to get a little bit closer to the action without breaking the bank on a new lens. When it comes to teleconverters though, there's always going to be concerns about the potential impact on image quality. Will it introduce softness or a distortion? Will it increase the noise, reduce overall sharpness? All valid questions, and ones that I've heard from many people who were considering picking up a teleconverter. One of the big misconceptions of teleconverters is they're a cheap way to get away with not investing in good lenses. The truth is, a teleconverter is only as good as the lens it's attached to. If you're using a mediocre lens, a teleconverter is not going to magically transform it into a high-end optic. One of the other concerns is that teleconverters are suitable for very specific types of photography, like wildlife. While it's true teleconverters can be incredibly useful in this genre, they can also be used to great effects in other areas. The key is to understand the limitations of the teleconverter and how it can be used to enhance your shooting experience. Some photographers are also going to worry that teleconverters are difficult to use, that they require special skill set or technique to get the most out of them. In reality, that's just not true. Using a teleconverter is no more complicated than using any other piece of camera equipment. It does require some practice and maybe some patience, but with a little effort, you can get good results in no time at all. One of the things that I've found in my specific application is that on my teleconverter and with my 100 to 500 lens, I get better results if I bump up a stop from the f/14 to f/16. My images are always sharper. I get better details of the subject that's in focus. So I try not to go wide open with the lens with the teleconverter on, just because with this specific setup on my camera, it's better at f/16. Moving on, let's take a little bit of a look at the aspects of the Canon RF 2X teleconverter. One of the most impressive features of this particular model is in real-world shooting conditions, the Canon RF 2X teleconverter has proven to be a reliable, consistent performer for me. I've used it in a variety of scenarios, and it's always delivered high-quality results when I do my part. Of course, with any teleconverter, there are limitations to be aware of, particularly when it comes to autofocus performance or maximum aperture. I do find that my autofocus is a little slower, not really noticeable unless you're tracking birds or something that's really moving fast. The biggest thing that you're going to notice is that it takes the 100 to 500 lens and makes it a 300 to 1000 millimeter lens. And you can't reduce the size of the lens no smaller than when it's at 300 millimeters. That's because with the extender attached, as you can see, it's a little bit longer than the flange. And when the lens is fully collapsed, that element is right there at the back of the lens. Whereas, let's see if you can see this, it moves away when I focus out, especially, like past 300, it's way on out there, and then it comes back pretty tight when the lens is fully collapsed. So with a collapsed lens, that's about as far as it'll go in. So with that said, that's one of the bigger limitations of this setup with this particular lens that I use a lot. Now, that said, let's take a look at some of my shots and see just how much difference this teleconverter can make. I've got shots with and without it with the same lens same times of day, same settings, and you can see I get quite a bit of reach with this teleconverter. The downside again is that my f-stop goes from a 7.1 to a f14 with the teleconverter attached and the lens zoomed all the way in. That means that the lens really isn't as good in low light situations because that f-stop's not going to let as much light in as I would get at the f7 or f4.5 that the lens natively sits at. So those are some of those limitations. But again, the lens is capable of delivering truly impressive results. In terms of video footage, the teleconverter has also proven to be a valuable tool, allowing me to capture high quality footage from a greater distance. Again, like across a river or across a plain. The added reach provided is a game changer. Does the Canon RF 2X teleconverter really make a difference? In my experience, the answer is a resounding yes. It's a powerful tool that can greatly enhance your photography and open up new creative possibilities with a lot of reach without breaking the bank for those high-end, long-reaching lenses. If you've had any experience with teleconverters, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. What are some of your favorite ways to use a teleconverter, and what kind of results have you gotten? Is it worth it for you? Also, if you're interested in learning more about teleconverters and how to get the most out of them, be sure to check out my other videos on this topic. And as always, thanks for watching.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching my dance video.